I'm going to share with you what is quietly destroying your heart, and you won't expect it. It's very interesting. So make sure you watch all the way to the end of this video. And if you're new here, make sure to stay tuned because we upload daily health videos that will keep you at the age of being 18 forever. The thing that's destroying your heart, it's actually in your refrigerator right now. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on our latest health tips and advice. This certain food has been linked to heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. What am I talking about? Well, it's actually these tasty little things called sausages. Now, there are many types of sausages out there, but we're not talking about the veggie sausages made out of vegetables. We're talking about the regular sausages made out of meat. Sausages are high in sodium and saturated fat. One study showed that eating 2 sausages per week can increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by up to 45%. But that's not all. Another study found that people who ate more red meat and processed meat like sausages had a higher risk of developing cancer. The researchers looked at more than 192,000 people over the course of 5 years, and they found that those who ate the most red and processed meat had a 69% higher risk of developing cancer and a 33% higher risk of dying from cancer compared to those who ate less. Now, I know sausages taste great, especially with your favorite barbecue sauce, but I want you to think about this. If you're young and healthy, your arteries are nice and flexible. They can expand and contract without any problems. However, when you start eating unhealthy foods like sausages, the arteries begin to become stiff and rigid. And as you get older, this becomes a bigger and bigger problem. You see, as the arteries become stiffer, it becomes harder for your heart to pump blood through them. This can lead to high blood pressure and eventually heart disease. In fact, one study found that eating just 1 sausage per day can increase your risk of developing heart disease by up to 20%. And that's not all. Eating too much processed meat like sausages has also been linked to an increased risk of dementia. Researchers analyzed data from more than 25,000 people and found that those who ate more processed meats like sausages had a higher risk of developing dementia. The risk was even higher for those who ate grilled or pan-fried sausages. But you may be thinking, "Hey, Doc, I'm under 70. I eat sausages every day and I feel great." Well, let me tell you something. Atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of plaque in your arteries, usually starts in your 20s and 30s, but doesn't cause symptoms until your 60s and 70s. By the time you start feeling symptoms, it's usually too late. That's why it's important to start taking care of your heart early, even if you don't feel any symptoms. Another concern with sausages is their high fat content. Most sausages are made with pork or beef fat, which can contribute to clogged arteries. When you eat high-fat foods like sausages, your body breaks them down into particles called chylomicrons. These particles travel through your lymphatic system and eventually make their way into your bloodstream. As they circulate, they deliver fat to the cells throughout your body. However, some of these particles can become trapped in your arteries, where they can trigger inflammation and promote the formation of plaque. Over time, this plaque can narrow your arteries and make it harder for blood to flow through them. This can lead to chest pain, shortness of breath, and even a heart attack. Not only are sausages high in fat, they're also high in sodium. In fact, one study found that the average sausage contains 928 milligrams of sodium. That's almost half of the recommended daily limit for adults. Too much sodium in your diet can raise your blood pressure, which puts extra strain on your heart and arteries. High blood pressure can also damage the lining of your arteries, which can trigger plaque formation. Now, you may be wondering, how many sausages is it okay to eat? The answer is it depends. If you're younger and healthier, you may be able to get away with eating more sausages than someone who is older or has health problems. However, I recommend that everyone limit their intake of sausages and processed meats. The healthiest way to enjoy sausages is to make them yourself with fresh ingredients. This way you can control the amount of fat and sodium they contain. You can also try grilling or baking them instead of frying them, which will reduce the amount of harmful chemicals that form. But here's the thing. Sausages have been linked to an increased risk of death from all causes, not just heart disease. In fact, one study found that eating 4 servings of processed meat like sausages per week can increase your risk of dying prematurely by up to 19%. That's because sausages are loaded with saturated fat and cholesterol. Cholesterol is a waxy substance that's found in all the cells of your body. It's used to make hormones, vitamin D, and substances that help with digestion. However, too much cholesterol in your bloodstream can lead to clogged arteries and heart disease. When you eat sausages, your body breaks down the cholesterol and fat into particles that travel through your lymphatic system and eventually into your bloodstream. As they circulate, they deliver fat to the cells throughout your body. However, some of these particles can become trapped in your arteries where they can trigger inflammation and promote the formation of plaque. Plaque is a buildup of fat, cholesterol, calcium, and other substances that can narrow your arteries and restrict blood flow. This can lead to chest pain, shortness of breath, and even a heart attack. So what should you do instead? Well, if you're craving sausages, I recommend that you try making them yourself. This way you can control the amount of fat and cholesterol they contain. You can also try grilling or baking them instead of frying them, which will reduce the amount of harmful chemicals that form. Alternatively, you can try eating healthier sources of protein such as poultry, fish, or beans. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, "Hey, Doc, I've been eating sausages my whole life and nothing bad has happened to me yet." Well, that may be true. However, you must remember that everyone is different and will react differently to different foods. Some people are genetically predisposed to having high cholesterol or blood pressure, which can put them at a higher risk of developing heart disease. Others may have developed compensating mechanisms to offset the negative effects of sausages on their bodies. For example, some people may have naturally high levels of antioxidants in their blood, which can help protect against the damaging effects of free radicals. However, this is not the case for everyone. So what's the bottom line? Well, if you're concerned about the effects of sausages on your health, then I recommend that you cut back on how often you eat them. Try replacing them with healthier sources of protein and cook them in a way that reduces the amount of fat and cholesterol. Remember, small changes to your diet can make a big difference to your overall health and well-being. So don't be afraid to experiment in the kitchen and find new recipes that you enjoy. You may be surprised at how easy it is to make delicious, nutritious meals that are better for your heart. If you're still not convinced, then I encourage you to do your own research and read up on the latest studies on the effects of sausages on the human body. There is a lot of information out there that can help you make informed decisions about what you eat. So don't just take my word for it. Do your own research and see for yourself the truth about sausages. And remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about the food you eat, the better equipped you'll be to make healthy choices for yourself and your family. Plus, eating a heart-healthy diet isn't just about avoiding sausages. It's about incorporating a variety of nutrient-rich foods into your daily meals. So don't be afraid to experiment in the kitchen and try new recipes. You may be surprised at how much you enjoy fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. So don't wait another minute. Start making changes to your diet today and improve your heart health tomorrow. Thank you for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe and stay updated on our latest videos.